and welcome to the local show here on QCTV. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Jennifer Racemius. The local show is a spot where we share some extraordinary stories of some local people and organizations that make your community great. Here we'll share stories of hope, generosity, and an inspiration to chase dreams. We'll also be joined by a special in-studio guest, so stick around. Welcome back to the local show. What started as a sewing bee in 2007 turned into much more. Bags of Love are meant to give displaced children something to start over with, to give them some comfort during a very stressful time. Leslie Sauer went to check out this great organization called Bags of Love.
I look forward to the Sundays here so I can sew.
Well, we meet once a month, the first Sunday usually of every month, and we get together and we prepare the bags, all the parts of the bags we prepare. So we're cutting squares, we're sewing bags, tying quilts, and then twice a year in January and in May we actually assemble the bags. And so we just lay everything out, and then we all grab a bag, a blanket, and go and pick out a book, a toy, a hygiene kit, a school kit, put it in the bag, and then we label them with what sex the bag is for, what age group. So we do that twice a year, and then I deliver them to the child protection workers in Anoka County.
Well, we have 2 shelving units that we keep the bags on. We try to keep them organized so that there's boy bags, girl bags, different age groups, and then if we're going out or we get a report and say, okay, we're going to go meet police because we're picking up a 3-year-old boy, we'll grab one of those bags on the way and head on out, get what we need, and take it out to the foster homes.
But it comes with a blanket, a bag, a stuffed animal, maybe a game, toothbrush, toothpaste, anything that age group might need when they first come into a home. And that's so nice for us to have as foster parents. We have stuff at our house, but it's not theirs. And when a social worker comes into our home and says, this belongs to you, it's really important for those kids to really see that that is something that they have, that nothing in that house, our house belongs to them, but they have something that they can grasp and it's theirs. So it's really wonderful that this program is out there for these kids.
Just knowing what a difference it makes in those kids, that they have something that is theirs, that it's nice, that for me is the motivation.
I think it's just such a worthwhile program. I feel a privilege, that it's just a privilege to be involved in it, to know that there are hundreds of kids in Anoka County that we have been able to help over the years to really make a difference. And we hear it from the social workers that it does make a difference.
It's a great partnership that we have with that church, and they've really done a great job, and we really appreciate the bags, and the kids that we service also really appreciate the bags.
To date, Andover's Bags of Love has made and delivered over 1,000 bags of love that are given to the displaced children of Anoka County. For a list of needed donation items, visit their website or call Deb Jordan. In early May, Champlin Police Officer Matt Smith will embark on a 250-mile bike ride from Chesapeake, Virginia to Washington, D.C. as a part of the Road to Hope. The Road to Hope is a fundraising event designed to help families of fallen officers in the line of duty. Corey Lang had a chance to speak with Matt as he prepares for his long trek. Let's take a look.
probably clear.
My name is Matt Smith and I'm a Champlin police officer. I've been with Champlin Police Department for approximately 10 years. I was hired back in 2005. I've been married since 2008 to my wife Terry, and we have a 5-year-old son Ethan. What we do is we're going to leave on May 8th from Chesapeake, Virginia, and we ride a total of 3 days from Chesapeake, Virginia to Washington, D.C. It's approximately 250 miles that we're going to be riding, like I said, over 3 days. Our pace is about 14 miles per hour, give or take on average, and so it's just kind of a nice easy pace into Washington, D.C. It's a memorial ride. What we're going to be doing is riding for a specific officer that has been killed in the line of duty. So I haven't been assigned an officer yet, but in the near future here I'll be getting assigned an officer, so I'll ride into Washington, D.C. I'll have a bracelet for that officer's family if they are there, and I'll have a flag on my bike with kind of the bio on that officer and whatnot. So when we ride into Washington, it's on the 12th of May, and that is the kickoff or the start of National Police Week. And then once we're in Washington, D.C., we'll attend the candlelight vigil and some other memorial type functions for Police Week. The Road to Hope is sponsored by an organization called Law Enforcement United, which is a nonprofit organization, and what they do is they help fund a couple of other nonprofit organizations, one being COPS, which stands for Concerns of Police Survivors, the other one Officer Down Memorial Page, or ODMP.org. What COPS does is that they take care of the surviving family members of officers that are killed in the line of duty. They do have all kinds of various projects that this money goes to fund. One that's particularly important to me is a kids summer camp program for children of law enforcement officers that are killed in the line of duty. It gives them an opportunity to get around other children that are going through the same type of unfortunate, tragic circumstances, and gets them some counseling if need be, and just kind of gets their mind off stuff. We have approximately, on average, 120 to 140 officers killed in the line of duty each year throughout the country. And you can go on there and see a bio from each of those officers, what the scenario was when they lost their life, and just kind of, like I said, a bio on what, how long they'd been with the agency and that kind of thing. I just want to say that I've been fortunate to get quite a bit of donations up to this point. We can always use more. All the money donated does go directly to Law Enforcement United to help fund those organizations that I talked about, COPS, ODMP. I'm very grateful for people donating to this cause. It's very near and dear to my heart. It's important to me that police officers' families are taken care of when they're killed in the line of duty, and it's very important to me that those officers are never forgotten. So I'm very grateful for any donations that people are willing to give. I know people's money is hard-earned, and it's not easy to necessarily get by all the time, and the fact that people are willing to donate to this cause is very generous and means a lot to me.
The Road to Hope is a fantastic opportunity to raise money for these families, and we want to wish Matt the best of luck on his journey. Our next story is about an organization whose mission is to enhance opportunities for aging adults to live independently, and they're doing it with groceries and a smile. Chris Carpenter had a chance to tag along.
Store to Door is a volunteer-based grocery shopping and delivery system, and we have our clients call us up, and it's seniors who are 60 and over. They call us because they aren't necessarily able to do online shopping like from some other kind of programs, but they work with a volunteer who gets their grocery order down to every last item. Anything that's available in the Cub store we're able to shop for, and then the order is submitted to the store where volunteers shop it very early in the morning at the 6 Cub locations. Store to Door was started when there was a recognition that one of the things that will help keep people independent in their own homes is food. And so folks who are either having some physical limitations, not able to lift items off the shelves at the grocery store, not able to drive, all those kind of physical limitations make it hard to get food into the home. And so we've got folks who, once the food is in their home and our drivers can help put it away, then they're able to cook and prepare the meals and live a healthy and safe life. When we hear from our clients, we hear that they really appreciate store-to-door because of the personalization of the service. Our volunteers, whether it be the order takers, the shoppers, and then our drivers are paid staff, but all of those folks, they really get to know the person. The other benefits are that we accept credit card and check and food stamp. We're the only food service delivery that accepts food stamp, and so we're really a great resource for people who have limited resources. A senior or an interested family member or caregiver can call our office. We're at 651-642-1892. We have a very simple registration process. We have a great need for volunteers, and volunteers can apply online at our website. That's www.store2door, all one word, .org. Store-to-door, we recognize that we are part of a whole array of services that help keep people stay in their own homes, but we know that getting food into someone's home and food and essential items really can make all the difference in the world.
Store-to-door would like to thank everyone that contributes to their cause and will continue to make a positive impact in the community in 2015. Statewide, the number of homeless youths is estimated at 2,500 on a typical night. Hope for Youth is an organization that aims to support those youth by helping them meet their basic needs and by showing them the tools to help them thrive. Matt Overstreet recently visited Hope for Youth at their drop-in center in Anoka.
Hope for Youth is a nonprofit organization that serves youth experiencing homelessness through housing, outreach, prevention, and education. They recently held a fundraiser to raise $1 million to secure a place where homeless youth can stay overnight.
So I came up with this idea about raising $1 million in 45 days. And I was going to announce it at the gala in front of 400 people. We put it on social media and on Facebook, and we started getting some momentum. And it kept on building, and then I was asked to speak at a number of places, and we were getting checks, but it was slow. I mean, December 1st, we were at in 15 days, we did $156,000. And I'm thinking to myself, I got 30 days to raise about $850,000. The phone rings, and this guy on the other side my name is Dave Mitchell, and I'm from Harlan Tires, and I would like to help you. So he came in and he brought his daughter, a 15-year-old, and I just kind of used her as an example of a homeless child. And I said, well, I'm going to walk you through all the stages every day here. Got done, and we talked for about another hour and a half, and he called me 2 hours later and says, we're in. We're going to do $500,000. So I'll just kind of jump to the last week. We were about $120,000 short. And I was like, oh no, we're not gonna do it. And all of a sudden, Care 11 called, and they wanted to do a story. So we did the story, and it aired at 6 p.m. And at 6:10, a lady walked in to the center and dropped off a $10,000 donation right after the story. And then our PayPal just went ding, 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 ding for 24 hours. And it just kept coming in. And I believe that we raised just under $1.2 million in 45 days.
They currently operate a drop-in center where homeless youth can stop in for a variety of needs.
A drop-in center is kind of your first touching stone, or your first, so I like to call it like drop-in centers and teachers and social workers as kind of, and family as protective factors. We're a place where they can kind of just see if we have services that they're interested in, and they can make a choice if they're not interested in us. It's completely voluntary, right? They can come in and go as they please. And so this is kind of maybe they'll just come in, like I said, for a meal, or maybe they'll just come in for the food shelf. Maybe they'll just come in for a shower, and they'll have very little interaction with us. And slowly but surely, as we get to know them, we build that relationship, things unfold. And then those things start coming out, like, I really want to go back to school.
I don't know how to do it. Okay, well, we can figure it out together. You know, where did you last go to school? And start asking those questions.
The goal of eradicating youth homelessness in Anoka County by 2024 is a lofty one, but with such a capable team with the greatest of intentions, we have faith that they'll accomplish it. Now, what started out by making a wooden truck for his grandson turned him into a very special toy maker. He may not have any reindeer, but with the help of some elves, Mel Hartman makes toys all year round to be delivered to charities. Jared Boyer and Kerstin Steinbring got a chance to visit his workshop.
We put a sticker on it that says, handmade by TLC Toys for a special child. We want them to think they're special. We want it to be nice. We want it to be something they ain't gonna get anyplace else.
Andover's Mel Hartman, founder of TLC Toys, has made it his mission to help less fortunate kids feel special for 25 years with handmade gifts.
There was a news article about a gentleman from Iowa that made toys for the needy kids in Minneapolis. I don't like the word needy. I use the word less fortunate. But anyway, he made a pickup load, and I thought, well, maybe I can't see the forest for the trees. And if he can make one, I can make two.
They didn't stop there. The first year, TLC Toys made over 1,500 to give away. 25 years later, they've multiplied their efforts 20 times, giving away over 30,000 toys last year.
I had a lady come to us from the county that asked if we would work with kids that have to do court-ordered community service time. You know, they're so used to getting chewed out. They get used to getting told they ain't worth a damn, they never will amount to anything, that kind of stuff. That's just the world they come from. And that's sad. Okay, so I'm not going to reinforce that idea.
Hartman not only creates toys for underprivileged children, but also helps troubled kids who need a hand. TLC Toys gets a helping hand from volunteers who build the toys from beginning to end.
We have about 18 guys regularly working out of this shop. 2 of the guys in the back come 4 days a week. We got people that come 2 days a week. We got one guy that he's our oldest and longest working volunteer. He comes only on Tuesdays. He'll show up between 11 and 11:30. He'll work till noon. He'll take a half hour for lunch, and then he might work another half hour, then he goes home. So he puts in up to an hour a week, but he maintains his status as the longest volunteer for TLC. Well, first off, I never thought we'd get to the numbers that we've gotten to. I have one goal, and that is to fulfill all the requests that we get. And to date, we've been able to do that.
A simple gift for one has turned into a blessing for many, thanks to one man's heart.
That's a lot of toys. For more information on TLC Toys, visit www.tlctoys.org, because who doesn't need a little more TLC in their life? Speaking of TLC, we now meet a young man who, after battling a brain tumor, challenged himself even further. Noah Johnson got to learn about his story.
I'm joined by Jordan Schmidt, who is a Ramsey resident. Jordan, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
So, for starters, for those in our audience that don't know your story, could you give us a little bit of background on yourself?
Okay, yes, so my name is Jordan, I'm 20 years old, attend the University of St. Thomas. I started ultra running about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
But I didn't always have that in mind. It was kind of a gradual, an idea that I kind of wanted for a long time. And in high school, I finally decided to start running.
Okay.
And eventually that took off, and now I am doing ultra marathons.
That's crazy. So what goes into an ultra marathon?
Ultra marathon is a lot of mental work in addition to the training. So the distance I usually do is 100 miles, and as I said, it takes a lot of training. So for the first time I did it, I would log 6 days a week I'd be running, and I'd log anywhere from 70 to 80 miles, and that's how you typically train for it. But a lot of what ultramarathon is a mental game, just being able to consistently move, stay on your feet, and still be awake to make swift decisions. So you also have to spend a lot of time awake and preparing for that as well.
That's just crazy. So had you ever run a marathon before you started running these ultra marathons?
Actually, I hadn't. So what happened was that in my senior year of high school, we went up north to Luton, Minnesota. There was an event going on called the Superior 100. Even though I hadn't even ran a marathon at the time, I vowed to myself that I would go back one day and finish that race, no matter what it took. I knew it was a long stretch, but I said I would. So 2 years later, I went back and attempted it, but I did not finish. The next year, I was very committed. I trained very hard, and with 5 minutes to spare, I finished that race.
Wow, that's crazy. And now how many 100-milers have you completed?
I've now completed 5 within about a year span.
That's just crazy. So what are your future plans?
My future plans are to continue to run and do these races, because even though I love running and competing, it's the camaraderie out there. It's being able to connect with others, learning from people that are younger and older than you, and being able to connect with people that you never even thought you would. Outside of running, I would like to get my degree from University of St. Thomas and hopefully work in a community where I can relate with others, and hopefully also work in a supply chain company as well.
Excellent, cool. Well, I just want to thank you again for joining me. You have a great story, and I'm glad I got to learn a little bit more about it today.
All right, thank you so much.
The commitment of Jordan is one that many can aspire to. And now is the time to go outside and enjoy the weather. Spring is in the air, and everyone has their favorite moment of the season. We went on the street in Anoka to see what they like most about spring.
Well, it's finally spring in Minnesota, and we wait for it a long time here. So for the local show, we decided to take to the streets in Anoka and find out what people's favorite thing about spring really is.
I'm Penny from Champlin, and my favorite thing about spring is being able to open up the windows and looking forward to summer.
My name is Patricia, and I currently reside in Coon Rapids, and my favorite part about spring is being outside and listening to the birds chirp in the morning, first thing when you get up, being able to get out on the bike, go around the lakes, and enjoy Minnesota.
Well, I'm Patty from Shoreview, and my favorite thing about spring is watching the bird migration come through. Get to see all the new birds as they're heading back.
Hi, my name is Caleb, and I'm from Coon Rapids, and my favorite thing about spring is I get to play soccer in my backyard.
My name is Ken. I live in Andover, and my favorite thing in the spring is not raking my yard. Okay?
So there you have it. The word on the street here in Anoka is that people are ready for spring. Back to the local show.
Hello, I'm Anton Eggink, and these are my brothers, Joe Eggink, Ronnie Eggink, Paul Eggink, and Alphonse Eggink, and we're originally from Holland. But when we are in America, we watch local programming, and our favorite, QCTV. QCTV rocks! Okay, one more time. One more time.
Welcome back to the local show. We are now joined by Jo Daney from the Animal Humane Society. And Jo brought someone with her.
Hi.
Who'd you bring with today?
This is Simba. He is a 13-year-old male cat available for adoption at the Coon Rapids Animal Humane Society.
He's really cute. Can you tell us a little bit more about Simba?
Yes, so he was brought into shelter and surrendered because he was house soiling, but when we gave him his full exam, it turned out that he had a UTI. So we treated him with antibiotics, and he's been available for adoption for about 25 days now.
Wow, so is that a long time for an animal to be up for adoption?
It kind of is. Our normal length of stay from when they come into shelter to when they leave shelter and get adopted is about 10 days for cats.
Wow, he's really pretty.
Yes.
So for those who don't know, what does the Animal Humane Society do and where are your locations?
We are located in 5 different areas around the Twin Cities. So we have one in Woodbury, St. Paul, Golden Valley, Buffalo, Minnesota, and then of course Coon Rapids.
Nice, cute. So the Animal Humane Society is a great organization and has some great programs. Now I heard there's a new program called Trap, Neuter, and Return. Can you tell us about that program?
Yes. So we call it TNR, and I'm the TNR specialist. And we noticed a really high number of stray and feral cats coming in from the zip codes 55303 and 55304. And so we applied for a grant from PetSmart Charities, and now we have the money to provide free spay and neuter services for outdoor cats. They get a rabies vaccine, and then we help the community as much as we can to care for these cats.
Yeah, I was so excited when I read about it because I live in Andover, and so in that area we have a lot of stray cats like behind our house, running behind the fence, and I never knew that there was a program that helps out with that, so that was really good information. Is there a cost associated if people want to participate in the program?
Absolutely not. If you do live in the target zip codes, I do all the transportation, I do all the trapping. I try to make it as painless and as pleasant as possible.
Wow, that sounds like a great program.
Thank you.
How can viewers find out more about the animals that are available for adoption and all the great programs that the Humane Society offers?
If you're at home and you're curious about our programs or animals, you can go online at animalhumanesociety.org and you can see all the animals that we have for adoption. You can also look at the programs and resources that we offer. You can look at the TNR program or Behavior Helpline. Tons of resources online, but I definitely recommend coming and visiting the shelters, especially Coon Rapids. We just renovated the adoption center and it looks so great.
Yeah, my kids and my husband and I love to go and visit the animals at the Humane Society, so we have a good time doing that once in a while, taking the boys in there.
Oh, awesome.
Well, thank you, Jo, so much for coming, and thank you for bringing Simba in, and we'll see you next time on the local show. If you'd like more information on any of the adoptable animals or the Trap Neuter program, you can visit their website or their 5 locations. Well, that's the end of this edition of the local show, where we shared some extraordinary stories of local people. We want to thank everyone who featured their story today, and we're so grateful for their hard work and their communities. Thank you for joining us today. Please join us next time on the local show with more great stories.